Do you want to see a quick, easy and budget-friendly build out of the Akko ACR75 V2 DIY kit? Let's get out of the box. Well, it's already out of the box, but you know what I mean. Before we get into it, if you want to buy this keyboard or anything from the Akko website, then check out the affiliate links below where you'll find a discount code and the affiliate link. So you can either click the link and go and do your shopping and you'll get a 5% discount at checkout, or you can just go to the website normally, use the discount code KEEPFACE at checkout, which will also get you a 5% discount. So we're just going to have a real quick rundown of the specifications, pricing and the build that I've gone for. The Akko ACR75 V2 is one of Akko's kind of budget or entry-level DIY kits that's got a gasket mount system. It's a 75% keyboard, hence the ACR75, and it's got 81 keys. This one has an acrylic case, a Hotswappable South Facing RGB PCB, a polycarbonate plate with the silicone gasket system, a silicone plate dampening pad, a switch pad, and Akko's Doubleshot Plate Mount stabilizers. It's worth noting that while the kit does come with plate mount stabilizers, the PCB is compatible with screw-in stabilizers. In terms of connectivity, this is a wired only keyboard. The USB-C port is on a daughter board which connects to the main PCB by a wire. This is usually a good thing by comparison to a USB-C port that's soldered directly onto the PCB. It's usually better in terms of assembly and disassembly. The USB-C port is also framed by that brass badge. It's called a reinforcement badge. The reason that that's there is it's supposed to keep the typing feel and sound consistent around the USB-C port. The keyboard is Windows and Mac compatible and is programmable with Akko Cloud Driver. Pricing is easy, it's $69 in either the black or white colorways. There's no other options available, so the price is basically just $69. For my build, I'm going to go with a trusty set of Gateron Milky Yellows. These are pretty much my go-to switches at the moment for any budget build. I've lubed the stems only on the Milky Yellows because I find this better than lubing both the stems and the housings. I find it keeps more of the switch's characteristics and reduces the likelihood of you over-lubing the switches. And I haven't used switch films as there's no movement between the top and the bottom housings. For the keycaps, I've gone with the black on white Akko SAL Profile Doubleshot ABS keycaps. There is 195 keycaps in the set and you can get them for $40 off the Akko website or Amazon, and that's a really good deal for this keycap set. I've got the same set except white on black on my Akko ACR Pro keyboard, so I knew that these were going to be a great choice for this keyboard. So with the keyboard at let's say $70, the switches at 21 cents per switch and the keycap set at $40, this build would run you just under $130 in total. And that brings us on to the strip down mods and build. The goal with this one is simple, see how good it turns out with minimal mods. We're basically lubing and adding dampening to this one only. As I said, I've lubed the stems on the Milky Yellows with Krytox 205 grade 0. The stabilizers are interesting on this one and I'm going to lube them only. The ACR Pro 75 has the same stabilizers and I holy modded those ones, and the holy mod actually made them worse in my opinion. There was no ticking or rattling afterwards, but I did lose the top out sound, which I really don't like. The Doubleshot POM and TPU stems are designed specifically to reduce rattle and ticking, I guess through the material, but also through that rounded shape of the wire hole through the stem. I know they are good stock out of the box pre-lubed only, as I tested them basically with my ACR Pro 75, but longevity with lube only is yet to be seen. What I'll do with them is I'll lube the outside of the stem with Krytox 205 grade 0 and then I'll just dip the wire in dielectric grease. It comes with the switch pad, which means I don't have to do the PE foam mod to get the typing sound and feel that I like. With this and the silicone plate pad, the only other thing that I want to do in terms of dampening is I'm going to dampen the bottom of the case. I'll just use white packing foam for this because that'll have like a minimal effect on the RGB underglow. I want to show you the whole process on this one, so I'm just going to speed things up and show you everything. I'll use captions to describe what's going on and then we'll just go straight into the typing test. I have to say I'm once again very impressed with this DIY kit from Akko. This is my second build out of Akko's current lineup of DIY kits, if you like, and there's kind of a recurring theme happening that's quite interesting. And that is that the assembled keyboard from these DIY kits seem to end up greater than the sum of their parts. What I mean by this is that when I take these keyboards apart, nothing about the individual components strike me as particularly high quality or innovative, if you like. And yet once the keyboards are back together, they're exceptionally good. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with the parts, in fact it's just exactly what you'd expect from kind of a $70 DIY kit. It just makes it all the sweeter when you get it all together and the thing is so good. As I usually do with keyboards at this price point, I want to draw a comparison to the Keychron V series. With those keyboards I always comment on how high quality the individual components are when I've got them apart for the price that you've paid more specifically, and so it's never really much of a surprise when the typing experience is good. I also always say about the V series keyboard that there's kind of no standout or signature typing sound or feel. You kind of have to do your mods to push it in the direction of a signature. I always push them in the direction of being more creamy. But with these Akko keyboards, it's exactly the opposite. I never feel compelled to talk about the quality of the individual components when I've got it apart, but then when you put it back together, it's just awesome. And not just in terms of the typing sound and feel, but also in terms of the aesthetic. I think this comes down to the gasket system, the polycarbonate plate and the acrylic case doing the business. The gasket doesn't give as much, it's not so soft and plush as like the Akko ACR Pro 75, but I really don't think it needs to. It just takes away that harshness that you get with most tray mount keyboards, but keeps the typing feel like really lively, really nice and lively. The stabilizers also work really well, which is a key part of the sound and feel of any keyboard. They don't rattle. I think that double shot design works really well, and because of this you don't have to overcompensate for it with using too much lube or using like the Holy mod, and this means that they don't get sluggish through your mods. They remain super responsive and have a really nice clean bottom and top out sound. Milky Yellows are always a good choice and I think they work really well in this keyboard. I also think that the SAL profile Akko keycaps get the most out of this keyboard. I think with their nice deep profile it gives you like a nice clean amplification of the keyboard, which I think is needed with all the dampening that's in there to kind of get rid of any hollowness. And again, the keycaps don't look like anything special when you hold one in your hand and inspect it closely, but then when you put it on the keyboard they just come to life. The RGB is also fantastic in this white version. You get the per key RGB shining up from underneath the keycaps, but if you flip the keyboard over you'll also see that per key RGB is shining through the bottom of the case. You also have the LED bar running right the way around the outside of the PCB, and this can be set to a different effect to the main RGB. This gives you like a bright but diffused underglow and side glow from the keyboard, but it also kind of frames the top of the keyboard when you're looking down on it. When you factor in all of these niceties like the RGB bar, the South Facing PCB, the fact that it's gasket mounted, that little brass embellishment around the USB-C port, and the price point of $70, this keyboard really has cemented itself as the best DIY kit I've built in that kind of sub $70 category. I know I've gone on a bit here, but I really can't overstate just how good the ACR75 V2 is when you do a modest yet well thought out build. And I highly recommend it to anyone really, beginners, experienced keyboard builders. It suits everyone. I think it's a really surprising keyboard. I hope this video helped you out. Don't forget to use my affiliate link below or my discount code KEEPFACE on the Akko website to get yourself some discount on this keyboard, keycap set, whatever you want from the Akko website, and I'll catch you in the next one.